In the chaotic and blood-soaked world of Mexico's drug wars back in the late 2000 and early 2010, few stories hit as hard as that of Edgar Jimenez Lugo, the kid who became infamous as El Ponchis. Born on July 6, 1996, in San Diego, California, to Mexican immigrant parents, Edgar started life with American citizenship, which nobody could have guessed would one day be his ticket out of hell. His mom, Rosadel Carmen Lugo, got busted for cocaine possession when he was just a toddler, leading to her deportation back to Mexico. That left Edgar and his siblings bouncing around, eventually landing with their grandma in Jutepec, a gritty town in Morelos State right next to Cuernavaca, a spot that used to be all about chill vibes and eternal spring weather, but was turning into a straight-up war zone. Morelos wasn't always like that. It had this rep as a peaceful getaway for folks from Mexico City, with its old-school haciendas, flower-filled gardens, and that whole land of eternal spring thing because of the perfect climate. But by the mid-2000s, the drug cartels had turned it into their playground. The state sat smack in the middle of key smuggling routes, linking the opium poppy fields down in Guerrero, where a ton of Mexico's heroin comes from, to the big markets up north. The Belter en Leyva organization was running the show there, a crew that had broken off from the massive Sinaloa cartel, led by Joaquín and El Chapo Guzmán. The BLO was all about power plays, and things got even messier after Arturo Belter en Leyva, the big boss, got taken out in a wild shootout with Mexican Marines in December 2009. That raid was legendary, Marines storming a luxury apartment in Cuernavaca, Arturo going down in a hail of bullets while blasting away with gold-plated guns.
Images show Marines going upstairs into a bedroom, where it turns out Guzmán escaped through a secret doorway hidden behind a mirror and descended into a sophisticated tunnel leading to the city's drains. Finally, Marines can be heard asking a crying woman where he is. She replies that she does not know. By the time the operation is completed, Guzmán and 6 of his men are in custody. 5 more are dead. All of them members of the notorious Sinaloa cartel. Before he was caught, Guzmán spent hours below ground as his henchmen sought to lure Marines up towards the roof of the house he had been holed up in. As rain started to fill the drains, Guzmán eventually emerged from a manhole near a gas station a mile across town and stole a car at gunpoint. As he tried to flee in the getaway vehicle, police...
His death splintered the group, birthing outfits like the South Pacific Cartel, which aligned with H.C. Tour Belter en Leyva and heavy hitters like Edgar Valdez Villarreal, a.k.a. La Barbie, this blonde-haired, blue-eyed Texan-Mexican dude who looked more like a surfer than a cartel lord. The CPS wasn't messing around. They clashed hard with rivals like La Familia Michoacana, a cult-like cartel from Michoacán that mixed drug trafficking with pseudo-religious vibes and other BLO remnants. The violence was next level: kidnappings for ransom, extortion rackets shaking down local businesses, and those horrific public displays, bodies hung from bridges, heads left on streets with narco messages pinned to them. Morelos saw homicide rates skyrocket by 2010. It was one of Mexico's most dangerous states, with over 1,000 murders a year in a population of just 1.8 million. Cartels fought for plazas, and civilians got caught in the crossfire. President Felipe Calder's all-out war on drugs, launched in 2006, poured military into the streets, but mostly just amped up the body count, over 60,000 dead by 2012 nationwide. Edgar's world fell apart right in the middle of this mess. His grandma, who was basically raising him and his 3 sisters after their mom's deportation, died in 2004 from health issues when Edgar was only 8. No school after 3rd grade for him. The streets became his teacher. His dad was MIA, rumored to be involved in shady stuff himself, and his mom was scrubbing by in the US sending money when she could, but not much else. Poverty hit hard. Jutepec was full of rundown neighborhoods where kids hustled for scraps. Edgar's older sister, Elizabeth, got tangled up with a CPS member, pulling the family deeper in. By 11, Edgar says he was straight-up kidnapped by Julio de Jesus Radilla Hernandez, known as El Negro Radilla, or just El Negro, an ex-army guy who deserted and become a top enforcer for the CPS. El Negro was brutal, running hit squads and torture cells. He threatened Edgar, join or die. To keep him compliant, they pumped him full of drugs, marijuana, cocaine, whatever, to numb the fear and make him do the unthinkable. Cartels were getting smart about using kids. Minors were cheap, loyal if you broke them right, and the law was soft on them. Under Mexico's juvenile justice system back then, the max sentence for anyone under 18 was 3 years in a reformatory, no matter how bad the crime. Reports from groups like the Network for Children's Rights in Mexico estimated 30,000 kids involved in organized crime by 2010, some as young as 9. They started as halcones, spotting cops or rivals, then graduated to mules carrying drugs, and eventually sicarios, hitmen. Social media wasn't huge yet, but word of mouth and peer pressure did the job. Poverty was the hook, in places like Morelos, where unemployment hovered around 5–10%, but underemployment was way higher. Cartels offered cash status, even a twisted sense of family. Edgar climbed fast. He wasn't just a triggerman. By 14, he was reportedly bossing small teams of grown men, ordering kidnappings, tortures, and hits. His nickname, El Ponchis, came from his pudgy kid build, poncho like a cloak, or maybe ponchado meaning husky. It stuck after videos leaked online. These were cell phone clips straight out of a nightmare. Young boys, including one-eyed Diaz Edgar, grinning with a K-47S next to hacked-up bodies, or beating bound victims with sticks while they hung from ceilings. One video showed a teen smashing a guy's face. Rumors flew about decapitation footage where El Ponchis wielded the machete himself, but those never surfaced publicly. The videos went viral on sites like YouTube before getting yanked, fueling global outrage and shining a light on how cartels use tech to recruit and terrorize. He confessed to at least 4 murders, but some reports pegged it higher, up to 300, though that's probably exaggerated by media hype. One confirmed hit, August 2010, 4 dudes tortured, beheaded, and strung up on a Cuernavaca bridge with a sign blaming them for snitching. Edgar described the process in chilling detail during interrogations.
¿Empezaste a ejecutar?
Los 11.
¿Perdón? ¿Tú eres el que sales en el video golpeando a un sujeto que está colgado en una casa?
Sí,
¿Quién te daba órdenes de golpearlos, de ejecutar?
negro.
¿Dónde aprendiste a ejecutar, a golpear?
De nada. Me drogaba.
¿Te drogabas?
Me drogaba el negro.
¿Te drogaba el negro? ¿Desde cuándo te drogaba el negro?
Desde los 12.
¿Cuántos ejecutaste, dices?
A 4.
¿Cómo los ejecutaste?
¿Eh?
¿Cómo los ejecutaste?
Los degollé.
¿Cómo te uniste a la banda?
Me levantaron.
¿A ti te levantaron? ¿Quién te levantó?
Negro.
¿Y te convenció o te obligó a estar en eso?
Me obligó.
¿Qué te dijo?
Me trabajaban en una montaña.
Junto con el Ponchis, fueron capturadas 2 de sus hermanas, conocidas como las Chabelas, quienes supuestamente se encargaban de recoger los cuerpos de las víctimas de su hermano y arrojarlos a orillas de la carretera.
A ustedes las acusan de ser las que tiraban los cuerpos.
Slitting throats to let blood drain, then chopping heads with machetes or chainsaws. He said he was always high, forced at gunpoint. Pay? About 2,500 3,000 pesos a week, plus bonuses for big jobs. His sisters got roped in too. Elizabeth and another helped dump bodies in rivers or bury them in shallow graves. The CPS, under La Barbie, was ruthless, targeting anyone, rival gangsters, cops, even innocents who didn't pay protection money. The end came quick. On December 2, 2010, Edgar and his sisters tried to bounce. They hit Cuernavaca's Mariano Matamoros airport, tickets to Tijuana in hand, planning to cross to San Diego where relatives waited. But Army intel had them pegged. Soldiers swooped in, nabbing the group. Edgar had a handgun and drugs on him. In a move that drew fire from rights groups, authorities paraded him for the press, standard for cartel busts back then. There he was, This scrawny kid with curly hair, baggy jeans, and a blank stare, flanked by masked troops with rifles. In a soft, flat voice, he spilled, "I participated in 4 executions, but I did it drugged and under threat that if I didn't, they would kill me." He named El Negro as his handler, described cutting throats. The video of that confession blew up, watched millions of times. Outrage exploded. UNICEF and Amnesty International slammed Mexico for exposing a minor like that, saying it violated international child rights treaties. But it also exposed the drug war's ugly side, kids as killers. Edgar faced charges, organized crime, 4 homicides, kidnapping, drug possession, illegal weapons. Tried in Morelos Juvenile Court, the Tribunal Nico de Justicia para Adolescentes. His defense? Coercion, drugs, abandonment. Prosecutors pushed max penalty. On July 26, 2011, at 15, he got 3 years, the cap for under 16 sentence. Centro de Ejecución de Medidas Privativas de la Libertad para Adolescentes in Morelos, a rehab-focused spot, not hardcore prison. Inside, Edgar kept low-key. Reports said he was introverted, studied a bit, got therapy. Psych eval pegged him as traumatized PTSD from killings, family loss. Officials saw him as a victim perp hybrid. He expressed regret, "I didn't want to do it, but they made me." The case sparked debates on juvenile laws. Critics said 3 years was a slap for beheadings, while reformers argued kids like him needed help, not hard time. Mexico tweaked laws in 2016, allowing up to 5 years for serious crimes, but Edgar's case was done. Release loomed in 2013. At 17, staying in Mexico was suicide. Cartels don't forget. His U.S. birthright kicked in. Mexican feds, coordinated with U.S. Embassy, quietly freed him November 26, 2013, to dodge media. Whisked to airport, flown to San Antonio, Texas, where aunts waited. He entered a rehab program at a facility like a halfway house, maybe church-run, focusing on counseling, education, job skills. No U.S. charges, crimes were Mexican, sentence served. Officials hoped he'd go straight. "He's shown notable progress," said one. Post-release, Edgar vanished. As of December 2025, he's 29, likely still in the U.S. under protection, maybe Texas, California, new name via witness program. No arrests, no sightings. A 2023 Infobae article speculated he's low-key, working a normal job, but privacy laws keep it sealed. Rumors of cartel threats linger, but nothing concrete. His story is a gut punch reminder of the drug war's toll. Over 400,000 dead since 2006, countless kids recruited. Cartels evolved. Sinaloa and Jalisco new generation dominate now, using drones, social media for grooming, TikTok videos glamorizing narco life. A 2024 SADENA report says minors as young as 10 still in play, with 2,000 active in hotspots. Morelos calmed a bit, post-CPS busts. El Negro got nabbed in 2011, but violence simmers. Edgar Jimenez Lugo, from San Diego baby to coerced killer, media freak show, reformed teen, ghost adult. His path screams, systemic fails, poverty, broken families, weak laws, endless cartel greed. In a world where kids become weapons, his tale asks, who's the real monster?